But right now in Saudi Arabia, President Trump marking his first international trip of his second term. So far, the president secured a $600 billion investment commitment in Saudi Arabia. We should say it's the official international trip of his term. Here's some of what that will look like. Nearly $142 billion for defense in Saudi Arabia from U.S. contractors, a $20 billion investment for AI data centers in the U.S., a $5.8 billion investment in healthcare in the U.S., and a $4.8 billion investment for a Boeing 737-8 passenger jet. Now, just moments ago, the president gave remarks at an investment forum in the region where he touched on a number of topics. Let's listen into that.
The Biden administration, the worst administration in the history of our country, by the way, spurned our most trusted and longstanding Gulf partners, and I can say partners worldwide, one of our great partners, no matter who we look to. And we have great partners in the world, but we have none stronger and nobody like the gentleman that's right before me. He's your greatest representative. And if I didn't like him, I'd get out of here so fast. You know that, don't you? He knows me well. I do. I like him a lot. I like him too much. That's why we give so much, you know? Too much. I like you too much. Great guy. They lifted sanctions on Iran in exchange for getting nothing, and sent the regime tens of billions of dollars to fund terror and death all over the world. And they laughed at him. They laughed at our leader. And they're still laughing at our leader. They thought him a fool.
CBS News White House correspondent Aaron Navarro is keeping track of the president's movements overseas. Aaron, the president made a major announcement to lift sanctions on Syria. How significant is that?
Yeah, these are sanctions that have been in place since the 2011 Syrian civil war, and it drew a really big reaction from that room in Saudi Arabia. And President Trump quipped, quote, "Oh, what I do for the crown prince." He wished the country good luck. And this is an economic game changer for the country, who had just left the regime of Bashar al-Assad. They have a new foreign minister. And President Trump, by lifting these sanctions, is essentially giving them a new slate to build themselves up economically. And that was a big theme within his speech, mentioning how Saudi Arabia and other countries have been self-developing themselves in terms of the economy. This announcement also comes as White House officials have told CBS News that President Trump is expected to give a quick hello to the new Syrian foreign minister tomorrow. In Saudi Arabia, Secretary of State Marco Rubio also expected to meet with the new foreign minister during his trip to Turkey on Thursday.
And Aaron, you know, he covered a wide range of topics during this address today. What else stood out to you?
Yeah, largely the talk about economic self-development stuck out to me when he said, quote, "Our people would go to Turkey on Thursday," and that is in reference to the direct talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials. We have been told that in addition to Secretary of State Rubio, special advisors and envoys Keith Kellogg, Steve Witkoff are expected to be there for those talks. Russian media confirmed earlier today that they would be direct talks and that Russian officials would be there. And President Trump, again, as he has said before, called on Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords. That was the agreement he reached in his first term for peace agreements between Israel and several Arab states, such as the UAE, Morocco. But Saudi's leaders have made clear that they would not do that until there's a clear path for Palestinian statehood and an end to the war in Gaza.
A lot of talk also about this $600 billion investment. What does this agreement look like for the U.S.?
Yeah, a big part of it is that defense sales agreement of $142 billion. The White House says that that'll involve over a dozen U.S. defense firms. So adding on to the military significance, the economic significance of how President Trump has called for other foreign markets to, quote, open up to U.S. businesses. This provides Saudi Arabia with warfighting equipment, includes training and support to build capacity of their armed forces, enhancements of their service academies, military medical services. All in all, building not just an economic relationship with Saudi Arabia and the Gulf region, but as well as a military and political one that the U.S. is strengthening their position there through this agreement.
All right, CBS News White House correspondent Aaron Navarro, thank you so much.